I do have a number of other things I want to cover, some that I didn't get to cover last time. Starting with Vision Zero, wanted to let you know that as speeding is a top cause of traffic collisions and fatalities on our streets, we have restarted the Safe Streets media campaign. You'll hear it on drive time radio and see it on bus shelter ads. Just a reminder that it is the leading cause of fatal and serious collisions in the city, and we want to make sure that people remember to slow down. So we will continue to share that message. And some good news is the San Francisco Stick to the Limit video is now playing at California DMV field offices statewide, so trying to really push this message out broadly. And it remains important. It seems not a day goes by where we don't have a reminder of the tragedy that can strike in our city. Yesterday, sadly, we had two of those within a few blocks of each other on Powell Street. The first was at about 6 a.m. There was a motorcyclist that was involved in a collision on the corner of Broadway and Powell. The preliminary indications that we have suggest that a car traveling eastbound on Broadway between Powell and Stockton made an illegal mid-block U-turn from the right lane, hitting the motorcycle that was traveling in the same direction. Then around a little after midday, a block away on the corner of Powell and Vallejo, an elderly female pedestrian was struck and killed by a large truck that I believe was traveling westbound onto Vallejo and turning onto Stockton. I don't believe we have any more information or names of victims, but in a single day within a couple of blocks, we had two more people die on our streets, which is just absolutely tragic, and at the risk of repeating, say it over and over again, not just tragic, but preventable. Both of those deaths were preventable. So we will continue to work with the police on the specifics of these cases to see if there's anything that we can learn in terms of things that we can do. But certainly our thoughts and prayers go out to the families and friends of those who lost their lives needlessly on our streets. This comes, though neither of these happened, I don't think, in the evening, or they didn't happen in the evening, but this comes right on the heels of daylight savings time. We want to remind everyone that as it gets darker earlier and people are now driving at times that's dark where it used to be light, to just be extra careful, to go slowly, and to look out for people in the public right-of-way. And no matter really how you're getting around, whether you're driving, walking, biking, be aware of the fact that that visibility change is something that everyone needs to pay attention to. On a little bit more upbeat note, earlier this month, for the second time in a row, San Francisco was recognized by Bicycling Magazine as #2 on their list of best bike cities in the U.S., behind only Seattle. This is something they do every 2 years, and it's based on a number of different characteristics such as safety, bike friendliness, the political climate, and culture. They specifically noted progress we made in installing protected bike lanes. In 2010, you may recall, we didn't have a single protected bike lane. Today, we have 10 of them covering almost 20 miles of our streets, and I think we have one coming your way for your consideration today as well. They also recognized the city's efforts to reduce fatalities through Vision Zero and the agency's goal of increasing mode shift by sustainable mode. So despite the tragic news of yesterday, it's good to be recognized for some of the good work that your leadership is enabling here. Switching gears to Muni, just wanted to give you an update on the work that we're doing to improve Muni service. As you know, after a decline in service during the construction shutdown, the mayor called on us to redouble our efforts to make the Muni service more reliable and safe. And so we have, in the last 2 months, taken a number of steps to do that. We have delivered an average about 95% of our scheduled service over the last 3 weeks, which is up from where we were in July. It's not where we want to be, which is at a minimum, the 98.5 that is set in the charter. We really want to be at 100. But we are making progress there. We have been able to reduce gaps on the rapid bus lines as well as on the Muni Metro lines, and our slight improvement in on-time performance, though I will say that part of how we're sometimes addressing gaps is adjusting, balancing the service that might actually work against on-time performance, but from a rider perspective, provides better spacing of the vehicles. There are some trends that are moving in a good direction, such as crime on Muni dropping by nearly 10%, and assaults have decreased by 43%. And we continue to work on reducing collisions by an additional 5%. So really looking at all aspects of the service, the safety, the reliability, and are making some progress there. Along those lines, on Saturday, November 17th, we will honor more than 300 Muni operators at the annual Safe Driver Awards dinner. These are drivers that have a safe driving record of 15 years or more. We're particularly proud to recognize 4 operators who have more than 35 years of safe driving, including Oliverio Valle from the cable car division, who has 44 years of safe operations with Muni, which is just unbelievable. I do want to note that every day in an increasingly complex and challenging environment, the vast majority of Muni operators are operating safely and really demonstrating excellence and service to the hundreds of thousands of people that they serve. And just in case you're interested, in order to be eligible for award, operators must have driven a minimum of nearly 2,000 hours each fiscal year without an avoidable collision. So to be able to do that for 15 plus years running, really a testament to the professionalism of so many of our operators. So we look forward to recognizing them on the 17th. A couple other things to report. Elevator status webpage. So this is something that we've heard from Director Ruki and members of the public is a significant issue for those who rely on the elevators. So in an effort to enhance the accessibility of our stations, we've added a new webpage at sfmta.com where people can see the current status of all Muni Metro elevators. It's simply at sfmta.com/elevators. And it's designed to improve Muni trip planning for people who rely on elevators, because they will be able to see the status of the elevators and make an adjustment to their plans if need be. Station agents are the best source of information on the status of elevators, and after getting a lot of feedback from them, we launched a web-based interface that allows them to directly enter updates in real time from their booths. So pretty much as soon as they know, which is as soon as anybody knows, everybody in the public will know. This was a great collaboration between our transit, IT, communications, and accessible services teams, and we'll continue to make improvements as we get feedback. So we do encourage anyone using the page to give us feedback on how it's working. One construction update with regard to the new UCSF Mission Bay platform. Beginning next Monday, we are going to be closing the platform through late April of 2019. During this time period with the platform closed, the T will skip the UCSF Mission Bay stop. We need to shut this down because, as you may recall, we're constructing a new center platform on 3rd Street between South and 16th Streets, right in front of where the new arena and associated development is being built. This will be a larger platform, kind of like we have on King Street in front of AT&T Park, which will serve people in both directions and will accommodate the crowds associated with events at the new event center. We will be providing bus substitution from on November 25th, from November 30th to December 3rd, and then from January 4th to late February. So we'll have different shutdowns of different durations. We're doing a lot of outreach to make sure that merchants, riders, neighborhood groups are aware. We've actually started that outreach a number of months ago, and of course we'll have ambassadors out and catching all the good lessons from other construction-related shutdowns, including making sure that the rest of the service remains sound in accommodation of this construction project. So I wanted to let you know about that. With regard to our facilities, a couple weeks ago, we convened the first meeting of the Potrero Yard Neighborhood Working Group with a tour of the aging facility and an introduction to the project. The Potrero Yard is a 100-plus-year-old facility that we have that is in need of renovation. So we had launched the Building Progress Program to ensure that our facilities are equipped with modern technology and have capacity to keep up with population growth and are brought into good seismic condition. While we have one of the newest and greenest and most advanced transit fleets in the country, the facilities to support those fleets are generally old and outdated and over capacity. So the first modernization of these yards will be the Potrero Yard, which is at 17th and Bryant. It's actually a full city block between 17th and Mariposa. What we'll be doing is doing a joint development project where we'll be removing the facility, rebuilding it from the ground up with then a development above. So it will both give us a modern facility with more capacity and then provide some development opportunity for housing in line with the mayor's desire to increase the amount of housing that we have in the city. So we have a working group, and we would love more community input. Folks interested can go to sfmta.com/buildingprogress to apply. And there's a lot more information about the overall program, not just the Potrero Yard there. A couple last things. On Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 10th, from 1 to 3 p.m., we will be holding an open house for the 27 Bryant Transit Reliability Project. This is something that comes out of both the Muni Forward program as well as the Muni Equity Strategy, improvements we can make in terms of reliability and reducing delays on the 27 Bryant, which serves a disproportionately low-income and minority ridership. The open house will be at the Bodeker Park Clubhouse on Eddy Street, and really looking for feedback from riders and others in the neighborhood in terms of what would make that route more reliable and usable by more folks. The following Wednesday, on November 14th, from 5:30 to 7:30, we're having an open house for the Valencia Bikeway. That will be at the Annunciation Greek Orthodox Cathedral Church at 245 Valencia. As you know, we've been charged by the mayor with accelerating what we can do in terms of a demonstration project. So we'll be showcasing what we've developed for the northern portion from Market to 15th, and then receiving input really for the rest of it from 15th to 24th. So we look forward to feedback and to getting something up and running there soon. And then finally, this Thursday from 5 to 7, at the SF MoMA, maybe an unusual place for a transit open house. We are going to have a transit open house for the 3rd Street Transit and Safety Project. As you probably know, coming up through South of Market, we have red transit-only lanes for the many high-volume buses, such as the 8, the 30, the 45, that use 3rd Street. If you've ever ridden those, you'll know that those lanes aren't performing very well because there are lots of conflicts with the heavy and the right-turning traffic, folks, particularly going to the Bay Bridge. So what we're looking to do through this open house is solicit feedback on some ideas about redesigning that street, particularly the location of the transit lane on that street to make it more effective for transit riders and get it less gummed up with traffic. So a number of different open houses. We're hoping that we'll have good participation from the public. All of these projects also have presence on our website, so folks who can't make it to an open house, we encourage their feedback. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much, Director Riskin. That was a jam-packed director's report.